With no further ado, now that we have Jan and JD Garrett, I'm sorry, Jan Garrett and JD Martin.
Hey,
Hey, I'm glad we got you. I had a little
I,
trouble getting to myself today, so it's one of those days.
I think Jan will be on in a second. If
And
not,
I see her right next to you.
oh, she is?
She's
Okay.
in the room right next to you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I haven't really even had a chance to introduce myself. My name is Chris Bank, and I'm the director for the education programs for JAS Aspen. And I've seen a lot of you in your various schools over the years because that's kind of what I do. I roam around and work within the schools system. This year I'm entirely at Carbondale. But this idea for a songwriting competition came up. I don't know. I didn't even see. Is Andrea in? Andrea and Rose, are you either one of you in? Well, anyway, they came up with this idea for the songwriting competition.
Chris, I'm here.
Oh,
Andrea's
yeah.
not in today.
Very good. And somebody had asked about the deadlines. If you haven't seen the poster yet or info on that, we'll try to get that all out today. But February 1st is what we're having the deadline for you to have those in. So you got a couple of months, and then we will decide by March 1st on these. But let me get to Jan and JD because I know their time is limited. Both of them, they've been working on songs for, boy, you'd have many, many years. They've been songwriting. Maybe you could just start with that, Jan and JD. When did you first start songwriting?
So for me, it was like basically after college, I had a couple of bands that I was in, and I wrote a lot for those. And yeah, so that was a long time ago. I would say decades ago.
And Jan, when did you start writing, Jan?
I had written some songs like actually, okay, I will out myself in the 70s with this really great band I was in. And then that band broke up and I started writing songs for kids musicals because my daughters were growing up here in the school system and so they needed music. And I loved doing that because it was great to have an assignment and to have something really specific to write and to write in the voice of a particular character. So in Charlotte's Web, I got to be Wilbur singing a song, and then I'd be Charlotte singing her song. And in that way, it really focused things down. And then, of course, I kept writing. And when JD and I got together in 1995, we started collaborating, the two of us writing together.
Right. And that part of it, the collaboration part of it, I'm interested in that because I've worked with both of you before on songs, but it's always been kind of after I come in at the end of it all, and I never really get to see how you guys put it together from the start. And maybe you could address a little bit about some of how you come up with the idea for the song in the first place. Does one of you kind of tend to be more the person that designs the chords for? One of you deal with the lyrics more? Or does it just go back and forth all the time?
Well, first of all, I'll say that for the last probably 20 years or more, we've been writing sort of specific songs focused on, we play and sing at a lot of spiritual centers. And so that way we kind of know who our audience is. And so we can think about for me, it's like coming up with the idea of what is it that we want to write about specifically here. And then often it's my idea in terms of lyrics, but then JD and I get together at the piano and start throwing ideas back and forth. Don't you think, babe? Isn't that kind of how that goes?
Yeah.
And you both play piano, right?
Yeah.
Jan, yes, you do. I've seen you play piano, and you actually teach piano and vocal, right?
I do. But yeah, it's more like a beginning kind of thing. But yeah, I know.
But you have enough understanding of piano to be able to communicate ideas for a song.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have chord arguments, of course.
I've been there for a few of those.
I know, it's so sad.
No, it's just very exciting, very stimulating. When the other parts of the songs, though, say the rhythms of those songs are what goes on behind that. And once you've got your chords and your vocals and all that stuff, do you have any kind of method for that? Neither one of you are drummers, so do you start with like a drum loop, or how do you establish what the feel of the rhythm of the song is going to be?
I use drum loops quite often. In fact, I have used them actually for recordings, but I prefer working with a drummer, of course, like John Michelle, a local drummer who's just awesome. But using a drum loop can really be helpful initially, just to get the feel that we want. And in fact, there was one song we did a few albums ago where we started with the feel, like a drum feel, and that became the thing that drove the whole song. So, there's no one way to do it, but I think loops can be really helpful.
Yeah, but babe, the truth is when we sit down at the piano, JD is such a fine piano player. We'll get the feel then, is it going to be like a gospel feel? Are we going to do it in 3/4 time? Is it going to be 4/4? We get that feel pretty well established, I think, at least in my mind, before we ever go into the studio.
And then when you do have that feel, how do you communicate that, say, to a drummer? If you say you don't have a drum loop, you just hope that the drummer hears it and you allow them to create from what they're hearing?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I mean, my instinct is always to let them hear it and try it and see what it feels like, and then to direct from there if it doesn't feel exactly right. So, I love having really fine musicians to play with who have, all their experience and all their talent to bring, and let them do what they hear. That initially, at least,
Right.
I think it really helps to hire really, really good drummers. Really, really good musicians. That's helpful.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to dominate the conversation here. I'd like to know if any of you have questions for Jen or JD about songwriting or about anything that you're doing musically.
I have one.
Sounded like somebody had a question.
Jonathan.
Yeah. When we write a song, like the noises do we add?
I think we might have lost a little bit of that. Jonathan, you try that again?
I'm sorry, my internet went bad. Like, can we make the music about anything, or does it have to be like jazzy?
No. Actually, it's country, swing, anything that you want to write about, as long as the lyrics have to be appropriate for.
Yeah,
But,
I know, appropriate. Yeah, but
yeah. But no, anything that you're feeling, and songwriting is a very personalized thing. So you should be writing what you feel.
okay. Thanks.
Sure. Did I see, Sereen, were you trying to ask a question? Oh, who's that? Max. Yeah, Max.
I want to ask if it had to have lyrics, because I'm a very bad singer and I'm also very bad at coming up with lyrics. So I was
No.
wondering if I could just do like a sort of jam,
Yeah,
without any.
instrumental songs are great. It doesn't have to have lyrics. But it should, I don't know, did I hear you say just kind of a jam?
Yeah.
I would say that you should probably try to have some kind of a melody before you go too much into the jam part of it.
Okay.
You know, jamming is all good. It's good to be doing that, but if it's a distinct song, you know, something that we can identify maybe as a song with a melody would be real nice.
Okay.
Chris, can I say something?
Sure.
You know, that, Max, that might be a good time for you to think about collaborating, you know, co-writing with somebody else, because you might find somebody who's a pretty decent singer who's really better with words, and they could get inspired by what you're doing, and the two of you, or even the three of you, whatever, could come up with something that would be better maybe than what you could do all by yourself. Just a thought.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, Spencer, you said you were collaborating with somebody, and I believe it, were you doing instrumental?
Yeah, I'm doing instrumentals.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so totally fine to have it be an instrumental. Anybody else have anything they'd like to ask?
I have a question. Um, I was wondering, do you guys have any techniques or anything for like a way to make your songs not cheesy or cliche, maybe?
I have a technique. It's called fumbling your way to ecstasy. It's called, I just start with the cheesy stuff and then work on it and work on it and work on it until it's not cheesy anymore. That's my technique.
Yeah, I wonder if you really have is there any really definition for what qualifies as cheesy? You know, cheesy is in the ear of the beholder, I think. If you like it, there's been plenty of people that wrote famous songs that were considered cheesy by a lot of other people, and a lot of people enjoyed them.
Yeah, I think it's important to decide, you know, who you're writing for. And if you're writing, essentially, if you're writing a dance tune, you know, that people really are going to want to move around to, you're probably going to want to repeat a lot of stuff and make the lyrics pretty simple. And, you know, I don't know about cheese. And then, but on the other hand, if you're writing a song you want people to just sit down and listen to, there are a lot of other ways to get inspired. You can listen to some other songwriters, listen to other tunes, you know, and songs that are really brilliant that people have written, you know, over the years. And if you get inspiration from that, that could be really cool.
Do we have any other questions that we'd like to? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering where you find people to play with. Like, where you, like, if you want to be in a band or you want people to help you collaborate or like help you with your music, how do you actually find like good musicians who are willing to work with you?
JD or Jan, do you have any insights?
Well, the only insight I have is that, you know, you're in school. Of course, at this point, are you guys all meeting virtually? Are you actually meeting in person?
Me personally, we are in school, like in person, but it's weird. Like it's not
Yeah.
normal, but it is in person.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
in person, JD, and we can't play our instruments.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a hard time to be a musician or to play music together. Obviously, it's just impossible for the most part. So I don't have a really good answer for you. There are people that hire themselves out on the internet to play. You know, there are musicians, good musicians that can play, but that would cost money, and that's probably not the thing to do right now.
Yeah, they're actually now more than ever. There's some great links to sites where you can put your songs up, and other people, you can share them with other people, and they can add to your songs. They can communicate with you. So there are a lot of links out there now that are available even more so than there were before.
If I can
And
horn in
um,
on
one
this,
I'm thinking of recently that just came up was it BandLab? Also the Berkeley Pulse thing, which a lot of you guys have access to. In fact, all of you should have access to that. There are links in there that you can connect with other musicians around the world. So I think there's actually more opportunities now than when we were out there trying to find people to record with us live and do it live.
yeah, the both BandLab and Soundtrap, they have a kind of a social media component where you can connect with other people. You know, put your music up. Just like, hey, anybody want to collaborate on this? You know, that might be one way in this sort of, you know, online world that you could get somebody to collaborate with you.
Yeah, and it may be a way to really push your song forward. You know, if you have, say, Max, you've got instrumental thing, a melody that you'd like to share with somebody. Somebody else doesn't necessarily, that's not their forte. They're a lyricist. You might find some people that would put some really nice lyrics to your song. I'm gonna switch a little bit to Mark, because you've done a lot of collaborating online with people over the years for quite a few years.
Yeah, I
And
have. Did you notice that
go ahead.
somebody questioned in the chat? I just wanted to direct your attention to that.
Serene had a question.
Serene has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Not very well, but I can.
Yeah, sorry, because I tried to say something earlier and I wasn't sure if you could hear me. But I have a question about like recording, like the recording process, because I've been writing songs and everything for like years now, but I recently purchased a mic and I don't know, and when I'm using GarageBand, I'm not sure how to make it sound as professional as like possible, because sometimes when I record it, it just sounds a little bit off and not like other songs I hear. Either I can't find the right ratio of like music to my voice or like vocals to music, you know. And then I'm not sure if like there's some reverb I need to add or like what's the settings for that make it sound as like as nice as possible, you know.
I second that question.
Mark, you want to address that?
Well, you know, there's lots of information out there on YouTube, like how to mix, you know, what does reverb do, things like that. You can sort of self-educate yourself on that. Just by typing in, how do I do this? You can get a lot of great answers. As far as applying, your problem, Serene, is getting your voice mixed correctly with your backing track, or are you using backing track, or you have your own music that you're writing?
I use the GarageBand like loops, and then I put a song together from there. Like I add like drums and all
Sure.
that. Mm-hmm.
And so you cannot quite get the balance together between the two?
Yeah, it always just sounds a little bit like, it just doesn't sound like professional, you know, and I don't know how to make it sound like as like I've been wanting to release music, but every time I make a song, I never end up releasing it because it's just like always weird
Right.
or off, and I'm just like, that's not, I know I don't sound like that in real life, you know, like.
Yeah. That's a you know, I'd love to be able to give you a quick fix, but it's kind of hard to do that. It's really just about, do you get a good vocal performance? Are you happy with, yeah, I mean, you know, your own performance? It's not a performance issue, right?
Yeah, no, it's always just like, I just can never find, like, it's something like I can't tell if it's too echoey, and then if I turn the reverb down, it just sounds almost like not my vocals or anything like that. It doesn't sound flat. It's just kind of like the actual recording just sounds like it's not being recorded in a natural setting. You know, like I feel like I want it to sound more like how you would hear something on like the radio. Like there's always a like or something you can just listen to on like Spotify or something. Like there's always a
Sure,
perfect.
sure. You know, so you're recording in the GarageBand with a microphone through a interface? You have an interface, or is it a USB mic?
I just have a USB mic, so I just
Okay,
hook it
all
up to
right.
my computer.
So, I mean, you know, I would watch some tutorials just about simple home recording, you know, in GarageBand. Do we have a address that we're using, Chris, or an email for this whole thing?
Yeah, Jazz Aspen. Well, I don't know.
I'll put it in the comment. I'll put the email in the comments, and
Put
then
your email in
you
there.
guys.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, put an email that she could send. If you can send me your email, Serene, I can send you some what I think would be informative links that you could watch, and it might give you a little bit of a jump start in how to
That'd be really helpful.
do what you're doing. You know, all
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Also, can I ask one more thing?
Yeah.
So also with like submitting for the whole contest, I was just wondering like are we allowed to use kind of like free for profit beats off online, or should I use like just the same things I've been making for a while? I just want to like know what's the best for this specifically.
You're the first part of that I didn't get. You're talking about.
You're asking if you can use beats that aren't cleared.
Yeah, like there's ones on, I usually sometimes use these ones online that say like free for profit, like you can use it without anything, and I download them and I sing over them usually because like I don't have people.
Yeah, I think you could use those. I don't think anything is wrong with using that. If
Okay.
it got to the point where you wrote a hit song, then there's going to be an issue,
Yeah.
right? But at this level, it's not going to be a problem.
Okay, cool.
You know, and there's something else that comes to mind with that. And I know JD and Jan have to leave in a little bit, but you know, for years Jazz Aspen has been offering pays to play lessons where they'll pay for the first 3 hours of lessons. You guys you are the motivated ones here that are taking it, you know, you want to take it to the next level. And if you haven't done that, get a pays to play lesson with Mark Johnson about how to record, or get a vocal lesson from Jan Garrett or JD. Well, JD, you don't teach vocals, do you?
I'll let Jan do that. Yeah.
You let Jan do that. But you know, it's there's some you know, sometimes it's just really simple things that you just need to get a little help with, that nobody's ever, you know, given you that kind of help yet. And just as simple as what you said, Serene, about just taking it to where your voice sounds like you. It may just be a simple setting that you need to deal with. And maybe you can find that online, but to get some help from somebody else that can help you clarify that a lot more.
I have something to add in here, Chris, before we go. I've worked quite often now with people that are starting projects in GarageBand, and then they send them to me to open in Logic and make them better, I guess, or more, just better. But what I was going to say is I created a GarageBand template that's just really simple, that I'd be glad to share with whoever, that has a decent vocal setting. So you can just start from somewhere where it sounds pretty good off the bat, and then you can mess with it after that, of course. If that would be helpful, I'd be glad to send it to you.
Yeah.
I see your email. So it's at serenazmusic@gmail. Is that correct?
Yep, it's Serene Zay, like .music@gmail.com.
Right. So yeah, with the at.
Oh no, sorry, I did not mean to do that. I'm used to like using Instagram ads. That's.
Oh, okay. So without that. All right.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't.
I'll send you the.
I got it.
And actually, I think it would be good for all of you to send us your email address so we can, you know, clarify and have everybody understand all of the outline for what we're doing with this. And then we can also give you notice, we're going to be doing more of these sessions with other people. Some of our former students that have gone on to do some pretty amazing writing to talk about their experience. And so if you guys all want to put your email addresses in, that would be great. And we can contact you for when these upcoming.
There's also, Rose has put in a email to JAS Aspen at JAS Aspen Snowmass. If everybody wants to get me their email, I can send you all the songwriting info. So if you send your email to that address, it'll go right to JAS Aspen. It's in the chat. There's Spencer.
Chris, JD and I are going to have to go. Can I say something really quickly?
Surely.
Before we leave, which is, you guys are welcome to come, and I don't know if it would help or not, or be inspiring or not, but JD and I have a lot of music that we have put up on YouTube. Since the middle of April, we have a series called Saturday Songs and Stories. And each Saturday at noon Mountain Time, we put up a new song that we've written, not a new song, a song that we've written. And then that also includes like a backstory, how that song came to be. You might find it interesting. And I'm sure, Chris, we could send you the link to that. That then if anybody's interested, they could tune into that.
That would be great.
All right.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, thank you, JD.
Thank you so much. It's been great to meet you.
Yeah, have fun. Have fun with the songs.
Guys, you're awesome. Good job.
All right.
All right. Well, there we go. Before we wrap this up, does anybody else have anything that they would like to ask or add, or any more comments? Questions?
Do we have to put our email in the chat?
You don't have to. It would be good. It'd be easy for us to get your emails. But
Okay. I'll put my school email.
sure.
You
Otherwise,
can send it to me privately if you want to, and we won't share it, just to send the information for the songwriting contest.
Okay. Does anybody else have any kind of questions or comments about anything?
I'm sorry, my internet went away. Can I put my school email?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, well, I think that might be a good place for us to say goodbye until the next time. It'll probably be about a month from now when we do after Christmas break. We'll do another one of these sessions. And, if you guys have something by then that maybe you want to share with us, that'd be kind of cool. But if not, how about we just say, I will see you in about a month.